She told them to keep away. They refused to listen, so she ensured they would never attempt it again. Tasha Williams had earned everything through hard work. At 42, she took pride in her residence, a beautiful 2-story home in Chandler, Arizona. Her backyard served as her sanctuary. Palm trees bordered the fence, and at the center sat her prized possession, a pristine, well-maintained swimming pool. She wasn't one to brag, but she had every reason to feel satisfied. She purchased the house independently without assistance, just years of careful saving and wise decisions. Her neighborhood consisted mainly of families, some welcoming, others aloof. Tasha didn't mind. She simply wanted tranquility. But that tranquility wouldn't endure. The initial incident went unnoticed by her. One Saturday afternoon, she returned home to discover damp footprints trailing from her backyard entrance to the pavement. Initially, she assumed it was a maintenance worker. Then she noticed a wet towel draped across her fence. She examined the pool. The water level had dropped. Her inflatable had been relocated. An almost empty beverage can rested on her patio chair. Someone had invaded her property. She attempted to remain composed. Perhaps it was an error. Maybe a child had scaled the fence and fled. But when she questioned her neighbors, they merely shrugged their shoulders. "Probably just children," one woman remarked, chuckling. "You understand how they behave." Another neighbor, a gentleman in his 50s, barely glanced up from his vehicle. "They're simply enjoying themselves. You have a beautiful pool, Miss Williams. People take notice." His tone bothered her, but she dismissed it. She reinforced the gate lock, hoping the intrusion wouldn't repeat. But it did repeat. 7 days later, she was indoors when she detected splashing sounds. At first, she assumed it was the pool's filtration system. Then came giggling. She peered outside. A teenage male was swimming as if he belonged there. A female, possibly his sibling, perched on the edge with her feet dangling in the water. Tasha threw open the door. "Excuse me." The children froze. The boy scrambled from the water. "I assumed you wouldn't object," he stuttered. "You never even asked permission," Tasha snapped. "Who are you?" The girl mumbled that they resided nearby. Then they fled. Tasha remained there, enraged. She wanted to overlook it. But then came the justifications. The following day, she approached the children's parents, anticipating an apology. Instead, she encountered resistance. "Oh, calm down," the mother declared. "They're only children. It's sweltering outside." "What's the issue?" Tasha stared in disbelief. "The issue is that this is my property, my residence, my pool, and I extended no invitation to anyone." The father folded his arms. "You're being dramatic." Dramatic. That's what people labeled it when they weren't the ones facing disrespect. Tasha suppressed her rage. Instead, she installed surveillance cameras. Perhaps that would deter them. For 14 days, it was effective. No more footprints, no more damp towels, no more uninvited guests in her pool. Then, on a scorching Saturday, she arrived home to find her side entrance ajar, the one she consistently kept secured. An ominous feeling struck her. She walked toward the backyard. And there it was. Her yard was packed with people, not just children, but grown-ups as well. Her furniture was occupied. Beer containers scattered the ground. Someone had even arranged a table with refreshments. Her pool was overcrowded. Women stood waist-deep, conversing. A man lounged against the edge, drinking and grinning. For a moment, Tasha questioned if she was hallucinating. Was this actually happening? She stepped forward, surveying the crowd. Then she made eye contact with one of her neighbors, Sandra, from 3 houses away. Sandra, who had never conversed with Tasha previously, waved as if this were some casual get-together. "Hey girl, hope you don't object," Sandra shouted. "It's so scorching today. We thought we'd refresh ourselves." Tasha's jaw tightened. Object? Oh, she certainly objected. Her voice emerged cold and resolute. "Every single person needs to leave immediately." Some individuals froze. Others exchanged glances, as if she were being unreasonable. Sandra rolled her eyes. "Oh, don't act like that. It's merely a pool. You weren't even present." Tasha moved forward, anger boiling beneath her composure. "It's not merely a pool. It's my pool, my house, my yard. You don't reside here. You don't contribute to this. So leave. All of you." Someone muttered, "Geez, what's wrong with her?" That was the breaking point. Tasha marched to the pool equipment compartment, seized the remote, and disabled the filter. Then she yanked the power cord from the speakers. Silence fell. "I'm contacting the police," she announced. Now they responded. Beverages were snatched up. Towels were grabbed. Within minutes, her yard was vacant. Sandra, however, had the audacity to glare as she departed. "You don't need to be so arrogant," she grumbled. "Nobody was damaging anything." Tasha wanted to shout. Instead, she stood rigid, watching them exit as if she were the one at fault. She slammed the gate closed, locked it, and stood there with hands on her hips, fuming. But one thing was certain. This wasn't finished. They showed no respect for her. And if respect wouldn't stop them, something else would. Tasha had attempted everything. Talking, reasoning, cameras, locks. Nothing was effective. Now it was time to get creative. She sat at her kitchen table examining the security footage from earlier. The boldness of these people, behaving as if her home was theirs to use whenever they pleased. She wasn't merely angry anymore. She was finished. And if they continued treating her pool like a community water park, she'd ensure their next visit would be their final one. First, she visited the hardware store. She purchased 2 heavy-duty locks, one for the side entrance, one for the pool equipment. The previous ones were sturdy, but these were unbreakable. Next, she went online and ordered a special chemical for her pool. Not chlorine, something more potent. It wasn't harmful, just a clever trick used by public pools to catch troublemakers. It was called pool dye, a harmless chemical that turns water bright green if someone urinates in it. Yes, if any of those unwelcome guests attempted using her pool again, they'd emerge looking like a glowing extraterrestrial. But that was only the start. Tasha wanted assurance, something to frighten them away permanently. So she visited a local sign shop and had a custom warning created. The next morning, she mounted it on her fence where everyone could see it. Warning: pool chemically treated for unauthorized use. Exposure may cause rash, severe itching, or temporary skin discoloration. Did it sound extreme? Absolutely. Was any of it accurate? Not at all. But they were unaware of that. To make it convincing, she positioned an empty hazardous chemicals container near the pump, something she obtained from a friend in maintenance. Now all she had to do was wait. It didn't take long. The next hot afternoon, Tasha sat by her window, sipping iced tea and observing. Most of the day remained quiet until 2 teenagers walked past her fence. They paused, read the sign. One whispered something, then pointed at the chemical container. Within seconds, they turned around and departed. Tasha grinned. Later that evening, Sandra, the same rude neighbor from the pool gathering, was walking her dog when she spotted the sign. She squinted at it, then pulled out her phone and began typing. Tasha checked Facebook minutes later. There it was, a post in the neighborhood group. FYI, looks like Tasha put some kind of strange chemical in her pool. Says it causes rashes and skin problems. Not sure how safe that is. Just a heads up. The comments flooded in. Oh my God, what if it seeps into the ground? That doesn't sound legal. Why does she care so much? It's just water. Tasha laughed aloud. They weren't upset because she lied or because they got caught. They were upset because their free pool days were over. And if they wanted to test her, good luck. For the first time in months, Tasha felt peaceful. No more random towels. No more strangers in her yard. No more entitled attitudes. Her strategy had worked, or so she believed. Then came the knock. It was a Thursday evening when she heard it. Sharp, impatient pounding on her front door. She set down her drink and peered through the peephole. Sandra, arms crossed, appeared furious. Tasha sighed. Here we go. She opened the door, keeping her expression calm. Yes, Sandra didn't waste time. We need to talk. Tasha raised an eyebrow. Do we? Sandra huffed. Look, I don't know what your issue is, but people are saying you put dangerous chemicals in your pool. Tasha blinked and smirked. I did, she spoke smoothly, to keep out uninvited guests. Sandra's jaw clenched. You can't do that. What if a child touches the water? Tasha folded her arms. A child who trespassed into my yard. Sandra hesitated. That's not the point. It's exactly the point, Tasha fired back. I told people to stay away. They didn't listen. So I took precautions. Sandra scoffed. You're ridiculous. You don't even have children. The pool just sits there being wasted. Tasha tilted her head. So because I don't have children, my pool is available for everyone? Sandra rolled her eyes. Oh, come on. Tasha interrupted her. No, you come on, Sandra. You and everyone else have some audacity. You don't pay my water bill. You don't maintain my pool. But you think you can just help yourselves? Sandra's face reddened. Well, if you weren't so unfriendly, maybe people would actually appreciate you. Tasha laughed. A deep, genuine laugh. That's your issue, Sandra. You think being appreciated means letting people walk all over you. Sandra opened her mouth, then closed it. Finally, she shook her head in frustration. You know what? Forget it. She turned to leave. Tasha called after her. Enjoy using your own hose this summer. Sandra stormed away. Tasha closed the door, smiling to herself. They were angry, but they'd finally received the message. Just to be certain, she doubled down. The next morning, she added one final touch. Motion-activated sprinklers along the fence. If anyone attempted to sneak in, they'd get a freezing surprise. But the best part? She never had to use them. Nobody tried again. The freeloading days were over. After months of frustration, Tasha had finally reclaimed her peace. The pool was hers again. The backyard was quiet. The entitlement was gone. And the best part? She never even had to call the police, because that was never the objective. She didn't want drama or enemies. She simply wanted respect for what belonged to her. But here's the reality. Some people won't respect boundaries unless you force them to. Tasha had tried being pleasant. She'd given warnings. She'd even asked politely. And they'd ignored her every time. But the moment she fought back, they retreated. Because ultimately, people will take as much as you allow them to. It doesn't matter if it's your time, your space, your energy, or even your swimming pool. If you don't establish boundaries, someone will walk all over you. So was Tasha petty? Perhaps. Was she wrong? Not even slightly. What about you? Have you ever had to stand your ground when people tried to take advantage? Or better yet, how would you have handled this? Drop a comment below and let's discuss it. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. Thanks for watching, and remember, respect is earned, not given.